Terminator Zero has been canceled, continuing the trend of Netflix shows getting the one-and-done treatment. Welcome to Vega's World. I'm JC Vega, and it's time to party. Terminator Zero was an anime created by the Batman writer Mattson Tomlin. Malcolm Lee, a scientist, tries to combat Judgment Day with the creation of another form of AI known as Kuroko. With 1 day left, a Terminator is sent back in time to come for his children, and a soldier from the Resistance from the year 2022 also comes back to protect them. Tomlin creates a story that works on its own while staying faithful to the lore established throughout the various movies' continuities. It's a visceral psychological ride from beginning to end. When a fan tweeted Tomlin about the status of a second season, he responded with, "The critical and audience reception to it was tremendous, but at the end of the day, not nearly enough people watched it. I would have loved to deliver on the future war I planned in seasons 2 and 3, but I'm also very happy with how it feels contained as is." Now you know your showrunner's a diehard fanboy when the show comes out August 29th, Judgment Day. There were 5 seasons planned. 2 was fully written with completed scripts. Season 3 was in its developmental stage. However, Netflix quietly canceled it. I didn't hear about the show until late 2025, and it came out August of 2024. And in early 2026, we hear it's canceled? This speaks to the overarching problem with Netflix shows. How bummed do you get when you watch a show and you can't wait for the next season and you find out it's canceled? And this also speaks to the inherent advertising problem over at Netflix. Unless you're Stranger Things or Bridgerton, you're not getting months and months of media hype. You're lucky if your trailer gets a debut on YouTube 3 weeks before it comes out. And that makes me wonder, what would happen to other shows if they were on Netflix? Seinfeld, then called The Seinfeld Chronicles, struggled to get traction in its first season. It wasn't until season 3 it got noticed by critics, and then season 4 became a primetime hit. It was a #1 rated show until its 9th and final season in 1998. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia had a decent first season, even if it was hardly promoted. Added Danny DeVito in its second season, hoping to gain traction. By season 4, the Nightmare Cometh episode became It's Always Sunny's turning point, and by season 5, it became a full-blown hit, maintaining its staying power till this day, heading into its 18th season by the time of this video's release. Buffy the Vampire Slayer started out as a mid-season replacement that turned into a cult hit, which found a surge of popularity in the middle of its second season, becoming a global phenomenon by its 3rd and 4th season until it left the air in 2003. Breaking Bad, one of the most beloved television shows ever, only broke over 2 million people until its 5th season. By its mid-season premiere, episodes would garner 4 to 5 million viewers. Its season finale aired with 10 million people watching, eager to see how Walter White's story would come to an end. Its global appeal and reach came from the binge-watching experience on Netflix. And there are plenty more examples to go off of. Mad Men, Cheers, Parks and Rec, The Office, all slow starters. And if they were on Netflix, they'd be canceled. They wouldn't even get to cultural status. Breaking Bad and Mad Men were helped by the binge-watching method of Netflix. And it also helped these other shows. Lucifer, a show based off the Sandman interpretation of the character, sees Lucifer Morningstar abandon his throne to run a high-end nightclub in Los Angeles. It ran for 3 seasons on Fox, ultimately being canceled due to low viewership on the network, averaging about 1.1 million. Due to strong streaming numbers, Netflix swooped in, gave it 3 more seasons, and allowing the show to develop a more mature tone fitting for the character and the world it comes from. Arrested Development aired erratically on Fox for 3 seasons, racking up Emmy wins and critical acclaim, got the axe due to its inability to find an audience, a problem caused by its own network because they would constantly switch nights. Fox chairman Rupert Murdoch felt the show was an HBO show rather than a Fox show. It was too fast-paced and clever for the masses. Netflix would revive the series in 2013 for 2 more seasons. Season 4 would even get a remix. More on that in a future video. I'm sensing a pattern with Fox, though. You started out as a Lifetime show. A Lifetime show! I can guarantee you almost no one knew it was a Lifetime show. Yet Netflix turned it into a monster hit. So what gives? It's nice to give love to all these other cult shows, but what about your own babies? Why don't you give them a little love with some advertising? I mean, even if you do have a success on your hands, that doesn't mean you're getting another season. Archive 81, a supernatural thriller centered around an archivist restoring damaged videotapes that finds himself entangled in a mystery surrounding the documentary filmmaker and a demonic cult. It was engaging and left me wanting to know how it would all unfold. I binged the show over 2 days, waiting to see what would happen next. The finale was hardly a conclusion. It set up a mystery for another season, one I was eager to see how it would all transpire. It was in Netflix top 10 for weeks. Showrunner Rebecca Schoenitson, much like Tomlin, had a second season already mapped out. Canceled. House of Ninja was a global success upon its release in February of 2024, garnering over 8.7 million viewers in the first 2 weeks. It was critically acclaimed, even getting a certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, a straight up 100%. That's crazy! Although not formally canceled, it's been 2 years since its release with no sign of a follow-up. Song of Bandits, a blended Korean action western historical drama, reached #1 in Korea within days of its release. It was in the top 10 in 26 countries, peaking #2 on the Netflix Global Top 10 non-English chart with an 86 critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. It came out in September of 2023. No word of cancellation and no word on a follow-up. I understand it's a business. There's a lot of factors that come into play. The production costs, the viewership to cost metrics. Oh, there's a lot of other factors. But how are you going to get your next Breaking Bad or Seinfeld if you cut your show off after 1 or 2 seasons? Give it more time. Maybe the word of mouth will increase over time like those other shows did. You could have your next big hit if you just stay the course. And us fans will be plenty happy. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me at the JC Vega across all social media platforms. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com to get yourself a Vega's World t-shirt. Support me and my wrestling. Good night and party on.